Welcome to Retail Hell, where terrible products go once they are finally put out of their misery. We'll discuss their life cycle and why, ultimately, they are spending the rest of their afterlife rotting as a failed, faint memory in the minds of consumers. Considered to be one of the most famous food line debacles of all time, synonymous with countless clickbait headlines regarding "remember this," with a hint of what the hell were they actually thinking, Heinz EZ Squirt Ketchup and its 6-year lifespan has a legacy to this day that just won't go away. But for good reason. It was quite simply a baffling endeavor. With the amount of condiments already overflowing the fridge shelves of America, why on earth did Heinz think giving your french fries the color options equivalent to a nail salon was a surefire venture? Well, let's find out. At the dawn of the new millennium, an estimated 97% of American households had a bottle of ketchup in their fridge. The average person in the US consumed about 3 bottles of the stuff a year. Despite this, Heinz found themselves knee-deep in a ketchup conundrum. With their market share dropping to 43%, they acknowledged their failure in advertising the famous red condiment. Consumers were either buying less of it or just buying it less often. In an attempt to recapture at least half of that market share, Heinz decided to focus on children, who, according to Casey Keller, the point man for the worldwide rollout of the EZ Squirt brand, said eat up more than half of all ketchup in the US. When developing this new kids-friendly ketchup brand, the first goal, of course, was the packaging. What they'd be seeing on the shelves to hook them immediately. The notion behind the packaging was to give the kids more control over their food. First, the hourglass shape was meant for easy grip, taking the fear out of putting it into your kids' hands. Furthermore, a custom nozzle, usually seen with mustard, allowed for a more thin, controlled stream of ketchup, like icing for cakes and cookies, said Heinz spokeswoman Deb Magnus. Last, the colorful packaging and art design caught your attention on the shelves. The dash and the Q clearly demonstrating the fun painting-like nature of the custom spout. What about the ketchup itself? Well, it was the same ketchup. Mostly. Through a process Heinz developed, they stripped the ketchup concentrate of its natural red color, then dyed it, thus changing the substance enough that they could technically no longer be called tomato ketchup. Rather, the packaging of the dyed varieties included the tag, "A kid condiment made with real Heinz tomato ketchup." Casey Keller said, "Green is going to be a shocker for a lot of adults. The kids don't have those hang-ups." So green was chosen as the first in this colorful experiment for one big reason. Moms could probably buy the fact that, well, green tomatoes exist, right? Green's natural looking, spinach is green, broccoli's green, right? Nope, it's just dyes, folks. Even the BBC News mistakenly reported, the new sauce will be made from green tomatoes, popular in the US. Which makes me think that maybe there was a plan at one point to use green tomatoes. So sure, kids were probably sold on the idea of painting with their food at first glance. The kids didn't have the buying power. They just have the power to nag mom enough at the grocery store until she buys it. So how can we get health-conscious moms to actually bite on this? Well, add vitamins, of course. In October of 2000, the product finally hit the shelves, in normal red and blasting green. It was an immediate breakout success. From all reports, Heinz' somewhat shocking new product is flying off store shelves faster than a Furby at Christmas time. And if it gets kids to eat something they abhor, why not? An article at the time from WebMD. Selling more than 25 million bottles of the stuff by 2003, and finally capturing 60% of the US ketchup market share, it was clear the Heinz idea had appeal. But would it last? How could they keep EZ Squirt hip in the minds of kids, with obviously short attention spans? More colors, of course. Problem was, the next SKUs in the line didn't come until almost 2 years after the initial release, in the form of funky purple, stellar blue, and mystery flavors, which housed either passion pink, awesome orange, or totally teal. The problem here is that the product was inherently a novelty, and novelty items aren't meant to last forever. And for the amount of money and time spent marketing this product, I can't help but believe Heinz saw it as a product extension with lasting staying power. What makes it a novelty, though? Well, it's because it didn't really grow the usage of the ketchup product itself. It was still being used as the ketchup condiment was intended. Hot dogs, chicken nuggets, hamburgers, but it was just a fun stopgap until the old, trusted red stuff came back to the table. To make it stick, EZ Squirt really had to become a new option, not a derivative one. And simply having pretty much the same tasting ketchup with just a different color didn't do that. As a fastcompany.com article from 2011 notes, what if this had become a totally new condiment that encouraged kids to eat more fruits and vegetables? Blueberry ketchup you could squeeze on a sliced fruit or use as dipping sauces for grapes and strawberries or bananas. That would have grown the usage occasion and added interest to a sleepy category. Now that's a thought. Because of this fundamental problem to the business model, the color-conscious ketchup sales began to dwindle each subsequent year until the line was finally discontinued in 2006. What's left behind is a legacy of hazy nostalgia buttoned up with a very memorable food failure. Surprisingly, unlike most nostalgic items from this time, EZ Squirt has never been truly resurrected, at least as of September 2018. Heinz did link up with Burger King back in 2012 to do a quick in-store run of green ketchup packets for St. Patty's. But that's it. At this point, I can see it coming back at some point, but make no mistake, Heinz will very much treat it as a novelty this time around, keeping its store runs probably very limited, if it actually happens. If not, may Heinz EZ Squirt Ketchup enjoy a nice eternity burning in retail hell.